Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and welcome to the Honda Jet Payware add-on for the sim. This is going to be first impressions for me. I normally do a little bit of a familiarization flight prior to recording and then immediately start a recording, but I'm feeling a little bit confident today, and I think I can hop into this straight away and make pretty good progress with it. It's a relatively simple aircraft as far as pilotage goes. So we're going to hop in, get started, and see what's what on the old Honda Jet. We're flying just outside of Suzuka Prefecture, which is where Honda manufactures a large portion of their automotive vehicles. And we're going to be flying to Tokyo Narita International Airport, which is just outside of Minato City, I believe, which is where Honda is headquartered. So we're pretending we're taking some executives from Honda's manufacturing side to their global headquarters. We've got a couple of folks on board, so let's not delay them. Let's take a quick look at the textures on the airplane, and then let's get in the air. So textures up first and foremost, as always. All in all, it's a pretty nice airplane to look at visually. Well, I guess we'll start with the nose gear here. Fairly well detailed. You can see a seam there, although I'm not 100% certain. I've seen some Michelin tires that actually do have a seam that runs laterally across, so I won't mark them down for that. Decent detail on the oleo strut. A little bit of dirt on the airplane, which I do like. I don't like airplanes to look full factory new. This is obviously a newer aircraft to the real world, so you wouldn't expect to see any super crazy dirty Honda Jets just yet. Very nice effect on the gold flake, or the gold leaf around the edge of the center windows. That is realistic to Honda Jets. I've seen quite a few of them actually in the real world. One area of improvement that stuck out to me straight away in setting up these shots was the lighting situation on the wingtips. If you look at a real Honda Jet, the clear, clearish lens with a black background. So that's kind of a miss. But you know, all in all, it's not too bad. You know, from a distance, you're not really going to notice it. You do get this weird double emitter effect, so when you're up close, you have, obviously, your single-place emitters, and those emitters are pretty accurate to the real Honda Jet. Not perfect, but pretty accurate. But then as you zoom out, those fade to a single emitter, and when you're in this in-between phase, you know, this is a reasonable distance you would be from the aircraft. You have that kind of dual emitter sort of situation. It's a similar story with the landing lights. Again, on the Honda Jet, it's a blackish background, but obviously the lens is clear here. It looks like they just tinted the lens. If I actually go ahead and turn on the landing light, enable controls. Oh. So you can see there's the landing light and the taxi light. Looks like it's simulating a pulse system, but the actual fixtures aren't turning on and off. Yeah, so you can see the actual emitter turning on and off, but the modeled landing light stays static, so that's gonna need some work before it gets my seal of approval. Oh, pulled up the VFR map, which is broken in Sim Update 10 as of right now. Go away, please. I'm not really going to mark them down, but there is a kind of pop-through texture issue with the engine nacelle covers. 99% of the time you're going to be flying with these off anyway, so I'm not too bothered by that. In fact, before we go any further, let's pop inside here and get rid of those static elements so we can actually see what the real engine looks like. Nothing too fancy to write home about. I forgot who makes the engines for the Honda Jet. But they're relatively tiny turbofan engines. Is that purple? Yeah, no. Nope. Nope. I've seen... Nope. This is not accurate. So in fact, let me full screen this here. Save us the time right now. We're gonna switch to my TV and we're gonna take a look at what this is a photo I took at AirVenture, and you can clearly see the difference between an actual Honda Jet motor versus what we're met with here. And I'll even do you one better. I'll zoom over to kind of have a similar aspect. I don't know why I'm getting 2 frames a second all of a sudden, because I'm recording 4 screens technically right now. But we get a similar azimuth to what we're looking at there, and I switch between the two. It's no, you do not see that much exhaust cone. And what you do see is very small, and it's not purpled, or is that their attempt at bluing? I don't know, but that ain't gonna cut it. So, engine needs work. Still stuttering. Not sure what's up with that. I probably upset OBS. It seems to be coming back a little. So engines need work. Excuse me. Engines need work. The landing lights need work. The navigation lights need work. Let's look at the beacon light while we're here, eh? Good enough. Really to super complain about. I do like the zinc chromate. Excuse me. I do like the zinc chromate effect in the wheel wells. I'm not sure if that's accurate to the Honda Jet. I know zinc chromate isn't that bright of green, but we'll take what we can get. Decent modeling on the main landing gear, especially on the brake. Looks pretty good. While we're here, let's take a look at the wing lights. Maybe those have to be... It's not staying on. Maybe that's a separate control that I have to switch inside of the airplane. I have trouble with my wing light bind. It's the same switch. I sound like a freaking rattlesnake. Anyway, it's the same bind that I use for all of my other external lighting switches. So we've got a logo light. Well, where is it? It's supposed to be up here. I know it's supposed to be up here. You can see it shining on the tail. That's a nice reflection, but there's no emitter for it. More to the point, there's no fixture. So how are you illuminating the tail without a fixture? That's your speed brake there. If we actuate that, that might be hydraulic. It's not actuating right now, so we'll take a look at that later. Ooh. A 2D fuel cap. Now look at the texturing on this. Is I can already feel myself slipping into a negative stance. So look at the texture modeling on this text next to the fuel cap, and then look at the fuel cap. It's just lazy. That's, yeah, no. What is this here? Is this supposed to be like a grounding strap or something? No. On the speed brake itself, you can see there's like a seam here that kind of looks trashy. And I think that's the big thing for me. So, you know, certain aspects of this jet look really good, and others just kind of fall apart. Oh boy. Alright, well, we'll take a look at the inside of the cabin here and see what that's all about. Ooh, that's a very nice effect on the window, though. Does it do the same looking out? It does. It's like this looks amazing. This is fantastic. I hope this is a special view. So we've got our couple of passengers, including businesswoman with a very broken back, black guy with fingers that are significantly lower poly than his face. Screw it, let's load in everybody else we can. I was gonna just fly these two people, but I want to see what the other passengers look like. Well, alright, so we got Sleepy Kid. Whoa, hang on. Yeah, so we got Sleepy Kid. Poor soul. We got... we'll come back for you, bud. We got Broken Back Lady's mom, who recently had her back fixed as a straight line. I'm being overly critical at this point. I'm criminally aware of it. And then we've got... what is he doing with his hand? And I'm aware there is, as far as I know, there is yet to be... these are probably some of the better 3D model passengers for any aircraft, freeware or payware, but... Then obviously we've got the lav, complete with flickering interior light. Nothing too special there. Here's our vampire selves in the lav mirror. Spooky. So, I mean, all in all, I'm not really going to complain too much about the 3D model people. If you're sitting in the cabin or the cockpit, they're not going to look too much different. I don't know what's going on with that overhead light, whereas that one looks completely and totally perfect. That one looks like it was painted by a child on an Etch-a-Sketch who dropped it halfway through and called it good. And then we come to the flight deck. So let's go ahead and button up the airplane. It's like it's starting to pick up raining out here, so we'll let these poor flight crew or ground crew go back inside and take a look at the cockpit and take a look at a startup. Alright, so here we are on board the Honda Jet. I think this is where the airplane really starts to shine. Very good, high quality texture panel. As far as I can tell, everything looks very, very sharp, very, very new. None of that lazy fuel cap stuff that we saw outside. This suite is fully intuitive and proprietary to the jet. It's not just a copy-paste generic G1000. So kudos where that is stated. We've got a full weather system here. Let me go to home, utilities. Nope, that's not it. Oh, this is supposed to be fine. Anyway, we'll look at the weather. This is your startup, complete with this proprietary Honda Jet logo. We'll go ahead and bring up the MFD here, and we will weather radar. Hook these people outside here. Do a vertical scan on the ground? Probably not. There. I would like to do a horizontal scan. Please. You can see there's our weather out to 20 nautical miles. Not sure, is this indicating our slant settings for the radar? I'm not sure, but... oh, that's the bearing line. Duh, it's the direction that we're going. I don't know why we would need that. The assumption being a fixed radar on the jet's gonna have that, but anyway. So we'll go back to the map, and you can see our flight plan is already pre-plugged in, complete with our altitude changes and that sort of thing. We're going to be flying at 20,000 feet today, so we'll get that dialed in. Actually, no, oh, no, I'll do all that later. Let's go ahead and do a startup here. So I need to go back to my system options page, and I need to go to some actions, and I need to close the main door. We already have our fastened seat belts and no smoking sign on. We will go ahead and do an engine start. So we've got our ICAS right over here. We'll leave ground power connected for now. And starting as simple as hitting your start button for each engine and then moving your condition lever to idle. So we will do that. %, N2, 30% N2. So they gotta manually move it. I'm cut off to idle. Not terrible sounding. I genuinely can't remember what the Honda Jet sounds like. But the simple fact that it is a unique soundscape, I'll give them credit for that. Alright, there we go. Good engine start. I'm going to go ahead and set up our airplane for the flight we're going to be doing today, and I will check back with you guys once we are ready to taxi. Alright, so after a little poke around by myself, I'm happy to report this is a very comprehensive situation, and the little fuel door issue that I mentioned before, I'm sorry. You know, I'm willing to let a fuel door go for the level of detail that goes into this Garmin G3000. I'm assuming it's a G3000. It might actually be a G5000 speed. Forget the fuel door. This is a very good airplane. I'm not going to run you through everything, but there is so much depth to this. There's a lot of depth to it. I don't want to go too far into it because it's supposed to be a general overview, but rest assured that this is a very, very capable and very, very well set up flight management system from a piloted standpoint. So let's go ahead, get our flaps set to taxi, or get our flaps set to takeoff, taxi lights on, and we'll go ahead and power out here. I don't know why they're pulsing. That's okay. A little bit quiet. Really on the quiet side, actually. So we're gonna... Thrust config? Takeoff config? What do you mean? What do you mean? I got takeoff flaps. Am I not supposed to have takeoff flaps? Oh, takeoff flaps. Oh, I bet you it's a trim. Yep, it's trim. That's what it is. It's trim. Trim. Okay, well, you know, live and you learn. This is a real life. Oh, and I turned on the ELT because I slammed to the ground. All right, let's resurrect this. Hopefully. So I'm going to set everything to normal, and I'm going to see how the aircraft itself handles external lighting. So I've got landing lights that I was turning on and off, but now there's some other light that's still on, and I don't know what light that is. It's not my wing light. That's that. I don't know. Oh, we're overspeeding though, I'll tell you that. Got that vertical speed, boss. Through the darkness of stormy Korean skies. Working sun visors, that's very nice. The handy on a different day. Something a lot of aircraft, payware or not, are missing. It's interesting. I've got a greenish display over here, whereas if you look at the black space on this one, it's actually black. Strange. Go back to system controls, exterior lights, make sure everything's on normal. We're just going to let the aircraft pick what it wants to do. Start aligning. So 6,300 feet, just a few minutes after takeoff, as we're still busting through the clouds. Nice zippy little jet. I can't speak at all for how this performance compares to real world aircraft performance, but I definitely like it. I mean, climbing at 3,000 feet per minute and 260 knots, still having to pull the power back a little bit as a matter of fact. Up to 3,500 feet per minute. Look at those clouds, holy smokes. I tell you what, Flight Sim has its flaws, but there are some times where it looks really pretty. Actually, even if, let me turn off my EMB, even with the EMB off, this is your vanilla Flight Sim, still looks pretty good. That looks miles better though. Holy smokes, look at that. So there's not a designated auto throttle in this aircraft. There is a speed selection. So if I wanted the aircraft to climb exclusively at, 250 knots, let's say I would dial this up to 250 knots, and I would hit my speed select. Right now I'm managing a vertical speed, which is how I prefer to climb. There's 12,000. Just rocketing along, and you can see our top of climb estimated point is just after we pass Costa here. I ended up overlaying NextRad data instead of the weather radar. I can turn the radar on. But I definitely prefer our map with an NextRad. Not as up to date, but lets me take in a lot of information at the same time. Anyway, we're zipping up to 20,000 feet darn quick. I will catch up with you guys once we're in cruise. And I will take a look at some of the other things you can do with the FMS on this airplane. Alright, relatively smoothly underway at 20,000 feet. Let's go ahead and look at some of this really in-depth FMS I was ranting and raving about before. It's my mistake, but I don't have any charts available for this specific airport. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, I figured Narita would be a pretty big airport to fly into, but maybe it's just in any region so far. But I've seen other people actually pull up charts on here, look at the charts so you can actually follow your AFDs, your approach plates, all of that stuff on this aircraft within the correct region. We took a look briefly at the map. It's exactly what it looks like. It's pretty in-depth. You've got all your basic G1000 data on the top. You've got your time to top of descent here, which is really nice. You have all of the different settings you can have, so you can do your orientation of the aircraft's heading being up. You can set it to north up, like that, or track up. I'm not entirely certain what the difference between that and heading is, but you can have the map synchronized between what your aircraft is currently doing or turn it off. You can obviously set your declutter settings as you'd like. You can have terrain warning, so absolute terrain, and then relative terrain if you're in like an IFR condition, flying towards a mountain. Next rad, you saw me toggling that on and off, and then your traffic. You know, there's settings for each of those, so we've got, oh, hang on here. We'll do a absolute motion vector, and we'll do normal altitude range, vector duration of 60 seconds, so 1 minute. It's going to draw a line of where the aircraft has been. Your transponder settings, so standby, on, altitude reporting, and traffic advisories only. I would assume this wouldn't have resolution advisories, I guess. Go back. Actually, there was another setting in here. Where did that go? Where did that go? Window. Nope. This is all of your different stations, so if I want to turn off airports, turn those on. I'm just going to leave on airways, airports. I don't care about VORs or non-directional beacons. I don't even know what INT is. Large airport, you can set different ranges for them to be displayed at your zoom level. So, you know, if you zoom bigger than, where are my airport settings going? So, for small airports at a zoom level of 50 nautical miles or less, it'll show them medium 50, large 100. And it's a similar setting for airways. You can literally look at different city ranges, different roadways, if you're doing VFR flying. And there's even a difference between highways and primary roads. This is just so in-depth, it's crazy. We'll track our own vector, so we'll start drawing a line of where we're heading to. We'll do a wind vector. We can do a fuel reserve. Looks like we've got some icing going on, so we'll turn on our engine anti-ice. Ice protection on the wing is normal. Windshield heat is on normal. So we should be good there. Tail de-ice on and wing anti-ice is on, and we just turn on the engine anti-ice. And that happened in real time, as you saw. I doubt we have any accumulation to show. We don't. That's okay. You would obviously get an indication of it before any significant buildup. Traffic settings, you can actually just pull up a specific TCAS display. There's no traffic right now because I don't have traffic on. I try to leave it off for videos. It tends to hamper my performance just a little. But yeah, and I mean, there's so much more to it too, and that's just the PFD side. On the MFD side, obviously, we were just in the lighting. If I wanted to look at my exterior lighting, that's where we just were. Interior lights, I can turn on and off the footwell lights for the airplane. You can see that kind of working down there. And then I can turn on our overhead light, bright and dim. So if I want like a great big floodlight, I can do that as well. Fasten seatbelts and no smoking signs, obviously. We'll turn off fasten seatbelts for now. There's quite a bit to this. Lighting configuration, you can set everything to go up and down on one slider. And then these guys actually pull up different views on your EFD. So you've got your general aircraft status, your environmental controls, your UCS stuff, electrical, fuel, which is what I had up before, hydraulics, and ice protection, which we'll monitor now. You can see our outside air temp is -8 Celsius, and we've got a nice wing temp of 122 on each, inlet temperature of 201 Celsius. That's actually a little bit warm, so we'll turn those off. Still not happy about it though, so we'll turn engine anti-ice on again, so we don't have any more ice detected. But yeah, that's a quick look at some of the comprehensive stuff this jet has. So anyway, we are about 10 minutes out from our top of descent. I'll probably catch up back with you guys then. And we're just going to keep cruising. Alright, we are coming up on our top of descent now. I'm also just now realizing I never set our altimeter to standard. It's okay, we're going to go ahead and start pulling back on the throttle. We're going to set all of our external lighting back to normal. And we're going to turn on that fasten seatbelt sign. Remember what it is. Fasten seatbelts. So we're now at our top of descent. We're going to go ahead and dial down to 4,000 feet. And we'll set a vertical speed of... we'll try 1,500 feet per minute. Oh no, this thing slows down great. Let's go 2,500 feet per minute. And not even idle power, and we're almost at our VFE of 200. Oh, 200 knots. That must be for the flap/takeoff position. It's a very fast flap extension speed. It's funny, I made the joke earlier when we were looking at the interior that they should have that one view looking out of the window at the engine as an interior view. There are no interior views on this airplane. That's it. Those are all of them. I just cycled through all of the specialty views. That's probably my favorite. Maybe that one's close second, and the rest of them kind of just fall to the wayside, so... Not a huge preset specialty views, you just have to set those in a custom view, so you should you so like. But while we're on our descent, that gives us the opportunity to come on back and check in with our passengers. How you folks doing, huh? Sorry about what I said about your back. It's a perfectly normal back, ma'am. Your hands are just fine, sir. Go back and use the restroom. And back into the cockpit. Alright, descent underway. We should be getting into Tokyo. I think I can see coastline. I think it's going to be over here somewhere because we extended out to the south of it. I zoomed in. Why did I zoom in? Still zooming in. There you go. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. So we extended out to the south of it, and we're going to be turning north here in a second to the final. Anyway, I will catch you guys up once we are a little bit further into our descent. Maybe even on the final approach. We'll probably just do final approach. So it'll be easier for everyone. So we'll see you guys then. Alrighty, we are rolling out now on our final descent. Go ahead and select VNAV mode. Let the airplane intercept. 34 left, our destination runway there.
2000.
Thank you. See the very beautifully rendered Narita International amongst the garbage of Autogen. We go full flaps. Seatbelt sign on, engine anti-ice is off. Lighting set to automatic. There.
300.
Huge gargantuan runway. Lands 777s and 74s all day, and we're gonna land a Honda Jet on it today.
$50, $40, $30.
Can someone tell me if the
10, 5.
if the
I think you can do better than that.
I think you can shut up. Anyway, if the actual lady, the TAWS person, if she actually sounds like that. I've never flown in an aircraft with TAWS. No reverse thrust on this aircraft, so we'll just rely on the speed brake to slow us down, and we'll use a little bit of wheel brakes as well. GPU automatically connects there. Surprised they're using a JetGo. I swear Honda makes their own GPUs. I literally saw one hooked up to a Honda Jet on the stand. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. What are your thoughts on the Honda Jet? What are your thoughts on Cinema Update 10? I'm excited to see some of the performance improvements they have claimed. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and as always,